Hello everybody, Bill here, Resurrection. This is my 1966 CJ5 Tuxedo Park. Now I've talked a little bit about this in the past, but this Jeep, I dismantled it back in 1977. Yes, that was a very, very long time ago. And it has sat in storage for all of these years. Now, my goal for the next, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 years is to actually restore this or rebuild this. My intentions when I started this was to build a little bit of a resto mod, and I'll tell you more about that in some future episodes or videos. Today, what I want to do is I want to see if this engine will roll over. Now, if it does, I want to do some compression test on this engine. This is a V6 Oddfire Dauntless V6. It is original to the Jeep. It is what the Tuxedo Parks came with. Now, again, it's been sitting for, what is that, 77, 87, 97, 07, 17. It's been sitting for 47 years. And who knows whether this thing is going to roll over or not. I want to figure that out today. And then we'll do the compression test if it rolls over and see if it's healthy or not. I think, want to pull it out of the Jeep because I want to go back through this from the beginning. I started restoring the frame and all that kind of stuff back in the day. But I do want to pull that engine out because I always had this vision of this little V6, which is healthy just the way it is. And with this fiberglass body, I'm thinking it's even going to be healthier. So I want to do some modifications maybe to the engine. I don't know. I love V6 engines. I've had them in 3 of my cars. No, 2 of my cars. 3 of my cars. So I know what they're capable of. And we had the 3800 supercharged in 2 of our cars, and I know what these little engines can do. And from the day I dismantled this Jeep, I always had this vision, this idea that I would soup this engine up and make it a real hot rod. So let's see if after 40 plus years, this little V6 will roll over. So I've stored this thing in several different locations and conditions. When I initially tore it down, I stored it in an open barn. I mean, it was dry. There wasn't any kind of rain or weather falling down on it, but it was an open barn. From there, I moved it over into my machine shop, and it sat there for years. So that was all dry, and it was also heated. So the thing went into a heated environment. I then moved it into this, what I call the cow house, or the little Jeep garage, which is where it's been for, I'm going to say close to 20 years. So this is not heated, so it's cold. When I parked the Jeep, it was parked with antifreeze in it, so I never drained the antifreeze out of it. So I have no idea what's going to happen, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a breaker bar on the crankshaft, and I'm going to try to roll it over. Now, 40 plus years, 47 years, who knows whether the rings have stuck to the sidewalls. So I am prepared with the big mother to roll this thing over if I have to. So let's see if this Dauntless V6 wants to roll over. So who would have thought, after 40 plus years, this thing would roll over? But it does, it did. This is so cool. So let me admit right from the beginning, I am not terribly experienced at doing all of this. I did restore my old 1973 RT3360 Yamaha trail bike, and I had to do this with that as well. This is going to be something a little bit newer for me, and what I want to do is when we're ready, I want to do the compression test on this. But the first thing I want to do is I'm going to pull all the spark plugs out, and I am going to put Marvel mystery oil in each of these cylinders, and I want to get that oil sort of surrounds the pistons, so that when I do roll this over again, there'll be some lubrication. And then I want to jump the starter and do the compression check on it, and hopefully this is still a strong engine. Hopefully the valves aren't stuck, hopefully the piston rings aren't stuck. You know the deal. I told you early on in the series that this channel is more about me learning new skills. I've never done this, so this is me learning this skill. So if you see things or have ideas or suggestions, you're experienced at this, leave a comment. Let me know what you think, but just do it respectfully. I've said that many times. Teach what you know, but do it in a respectful way, and I'm happy to listen and to learn from you. So I thought it would be interesting to show you how many miles are on this Jeep. It's 45,650 miles. Now, the Jeep was built in 1966. I bought it in 1976. So the Jeep was only 10 years old when I bought it. So I am convinced that 45,000 miles is original miles. This is a brand new engine for all intent and purposes. It looks a little rough because it's been sitting in storage for all these years. I always kept it covered. But anyway, I'm pretty confident that those 45,000 miles are original miles. So it's going to be kind of an interesting experience getting this thing out and torn down, checked out, and rebuilt. That is the thing I want to do. I've never rebuilt an engine ever in my life. This is what I think I want to do, but we'll see how that turns out. Now, in the back, I've also got this other V6 that is a factory Buick V6. It is all original. This used to be a demo model for my high school, and to my knowledge, this thing is just right out of the box. It's brand new. So if all this fails, over here, I've still got that one that I can fall back on. I may do both of them, who knows? So it depends on how this one turns out. My goal today is to get the spark plugs out and get the cylinders filled up with Marvel Mystery Oil. I'm going to need to let that soak for about a week maybe, and I may come down and add some over the next several days because there is literally no oil in this engine, which bothers me just a bit. I put the dipstick in and there's no oil in that pan. I don't know what that's all about. Again, that was 47 years ago. I don't remember that stuff that far back, but the engine does turn over. And before I score those cylinder walls, I do want to get that oil or Marvel Mystery Oil in those cylinders. And then when that's done, I'll come in and I will turn this thing over several times and then maybe put some more oil in just to make sure I have good lubrication on those cylinder walls. And then when that's done, got really good clean access to the starter, and I want to roll this thing over and do a compression check on it, sort of get a sense of, is the engine even healthy at this point or not? Do I have stuck valves? The score. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to get this charger out of the way, doesn't have an alternator, it's got a charger. And I want to get this done, get this out of here so I've got more room to work underneath. Got this one wire that's left. I don't know why that wire is left. I have no clue. So interestingly, this generator, I know, I kept calling it a charger, but what does the generator do? This generator has a pin that holds it in place. I've never seen anything like that. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but it is what we're dealing with. And then we need to get this bolt out of here, if it plays nice. Pin back out, and this is a beast, and this is why a lot of people replace their generators with alternators, simply to lose pounds, because I haven't learned the firing order yet, and I will eventually. I have to label these spark plug wires, and because I am going to pull them out. And so with that done, let's pull all the plug wires and tuck them neatly out of the way. Now let's pull the plugs and throw in some Marvel Mystery Oil. However, before I do that, there is a lot of rust in here. So I'm going to throw some WD-40 around those spark plugs. Okay, I'll see you guys in about a half an hour. There was no struggle there. These things popped loose like they weren't even tight. So I didn't show that, but we are going to pull the plugs right now and get them pulled to put the oil in the cylinder. So that plug is nice and clean, and you can still see the porcelain down inside. I need a place to put this. Right there. one's got a little oil on the plug itself. And that one's even cleaner than the first one. We got a little bit of buildup on the electrode on that one. So guys, leave a comment. I'm really interested in your thoughts on this. If it were you, would you put oil in the oil pan before you turned it over with the starter? Or do you think it's not going to matter that much? Curious, leave a comment. I want to know your thoughts. This one's in really nice shape. Like I said, this thing ran like a champ. I mean, it was just an incredibly strong running engine. Scary strong, actually. That one's really in good shape as well. All right, let's get some oil and start putting some oil in those cylinders. So I don't know what is the best oil for pouring down cylinders in engines that haven't run for a long time. I've been using the Marvel Mystery Oil. I've talked to a lot of mechanics, both pros and amateurs, and I get all kinds of different suggestions, from Marvel Mystery Oil to regular engine oil to ATF to even using WD-40 early on because it's thin and it'll flow down in around the cylinders themselves. So I mean, when you read the front of it, add to gas and oil, helps extend engine life, improves fuel economy, cleans the engines from inside out, and that's sort of what I'm trying to do, is clean it from the inside. What does Marvel Mystery Oil do, or what does Marvel do? Cleans the engine from the inside out. When added to your engine, Marvel breaks down and removes harmful deposits of sludge and carbon. Well, I'm thinking I may have all of that in here. All I want to do is lubricate the walls of the cylinders so that when I roll it over, I have minimal chance of scoring it. I'm not going to turn that over today. I'm not going to turn it over in this video. So if you guys have some suggestions, some ideas, share them, please. Share them in the comments. But if you do, as I've said from the beginning, just be respectful, be kind. This is the first time I've ever taken an engine and tried to get it rolled over after it's sat for nearly 50 years. So again, share your comments. I'd be interested. I am going to use Marvel Mystery Oil, and we're going to do that right now. I am going to put the plugs back in loose so that I don't get a lot of junk down in there, or the potential for junk. The potential for mice. Who knows? Who knows? All right, I'm going to do that a couple more times over the next few days. Make sure that this oil's got every opportunity to get down into the cylinder walls that I can. In the meantime, I got to figure out how to do it, because I've watched several YouTube videos on how to jump the starter and get it to spin over the flywheel. So I want to do that as well. I got to make sure I can do that, know how to do that, and to make sure that the clutch and the pressure plate are going to release, and that the flywheel and the starter will engage. But that's something I'm going to do. That'll actually be next video, I hope, when I come back on this Jeep. This is going to be a whole series over a period of time. I don't know how long. I do want to pull this engine out. I do want to pull that body off. I want to get back to the frame where I started back in 1977 and start going back through all this stuff. I cleaned the frame, sandblasted the frame, painted the frame, but and it actually still looks really pretty nice. But I want to get back to opening it up, checking things like welds and whatever else is rivets, anything that's needed to make sure that they're in good shape. We're going to build this Jeep from the bottom up. That is the plan. And I'll tell you more about that in some future videos once I get to really building on all of this. I need to sort of build a list in my head what it is I want this thing to become. And I'd like you guys to come along for that journey. If you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, that you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because YouTube tells me that a lot of you watch, but not a lot of you subscribe. I'm trying to get to that magic 1,000 number. So if you're watching it, subscribe, help me out if you would. Guys, I will see you in a future video. Doing this, doing something, but we will keep this going. I will see you. Bye, guys.